The curse of writing about this war is, no matter what side you support, you are going to get hate from lots of people, because lots of people side with Israel, lots of other people side with Palestine. Pick one, hated by the other. There is no pleasing both. Lucky for me, I don't care about getting hate, as I've made clear in past projects. This is my solution. Who do I side with? Neither of them. If you don't like that, fine, let's discuss it. Neither Judaism or Islam are religions. They do not qualify the process. If you look at what religion is all about and compare it to what they're about, they have little in common, but they do have political agendas, and therefore they are political groups. And it's easy for me to convince you that socialism or capitalism are bad, and I believe that, therefore, we should be allowed to criticize Judaism, Islam, and more in the same way that we criticize socialism or capitalism, or for that matter, fascism or any type of tyranny. I believe that what stays in your head is no one else's concern. I judge you on what you say and do. And Jews and Muslims say and do horrid things. Israel is a nest of Judaism. And if you want to understand Judaism, you need to understand Judaism. It's a politically motivated cult with the aim to control and oppress women and LGBT+. For example, it wants women to be banned from answering the door, banned from having a career, and mixed-gendered communication to be banned. So no, I am not going to take the Jewish side. Palestine is what's left of a part of the Muslim empire. If you want to understand Islam, you need to understand Islam. It's a politically motivated cult with the aim to control and oppress women and LGBT+. For example, they want to genocide all LGBT+, and while they're at it, also genocide all atheists. Muslims came to power by invasion, mass murder, followed by occupation, until they had exterminated anyone who didn't support their plan. Now that they have power, they enjoy using it to brand their daughters as prostitutes if they date a non-Muslim, strangle their daughters if they take off their hijab, and before that, they abuse their daughters every day of their lives. And if you have this idea that Muslims have a big admiration for virginity, let me put it this way. In Libya, which is a part of the Muslim Empire, the slave market sells mostly to hetero men. The price of a male slave is 10 bits of money. The price of a female slave is 75, because Muslims enjoy raping slaves. So all this about wearing hijabs or burqas to avoid making anything sexual? All a load of lies! What does this tell you about the Muslim Empire? So no, I am not going to take the Muslim side. And no one can say I'm discriminating because if you ask most people, when an atheist does it, he's called abusive. When a Jew does it, he's called traditional. When an atheist does it, he's called a misogynist. When a Muslim does it, he's called cultured. When an atheist does it, he goes to jail. When a Jew or Muslim do it, they get tolerated, and people like me who criticize that risk going to jail instead. So really, I'm the one advocating for equality. I want everyone, no matter what their background, beliefs, or ethnicity, to have the same responsibilities. Judgment should know none of these differences, and any two people with the same action should have the same process, regardless of these. If you can't turn your back on synagogues and mosques for long enough to appreciate that, then you are no one to judge me. If I was all-powerful and I could decide the outcome, I would choose neither side to win. I want them to destroy each other until both of their civilizations end, so me and every rationally thinking LGBT+ and atheist and anyone who isn't a Jew or a Muslim can live there or travel there in peace, if that is their will. If anyone thinks I have made a bad decision, they are welcome to go to a Jewish community and try having a simple conversation with someone of another gender. See how the Jews react. Or go to Riyadh City or Tehran City, which are capitals of the Muslim Empire, and tell the police they're atheist. See how they treat you. Only after you've done one of these can you tell me I've made a bad decision. And what gets on my nerves is people talk so much about not insulting religions. But even if I was to pretend that either of these are religions, religion is possibly the biggest target to criticism ever made. When I try to tell people about my religion, I can't even get through the intro without criticism. So if someone is serious about being religious, they need to be able to handle criticism. To give you an idea of the situation in the run-up to the war, the last news article I saw about them was Israel restricts romance. Anyone in Palestine who wants to start a relationship needs to register and be approved by the Israeli authorities. Yes, it's important to license some things, such as committed romance, but we know Israel had other ideas. So none of us have all day. Here's the story. October 7th, Palestine attacks. Thousands of Jews are raped and/or killed, and the war begins. Muslims have a base of operations in tunnels. Jews try to pump water into those tunnels to flood them. Hezbollah are a team of Muslims in Lebanon, another part of the Muslim Empire. They support Palestine. Muslims from Iran, another part of the Muslim Empire, are working in Syria, another part of the Muslim Empire. They are bombed by Jews. Yemen, another part of the Muslim Empire, sends terrorists to siege Red Sea, one of Earth's biggest ship routes. Jews get in disguise and attack a hospital. In the early days at some time, Palestinians were told by Israel to go to safe zones that would not be bombed. Civilians went there, then the same Jews who told them it was safe bombed them. The Jews lied. Again. Aid cars going to Muslims are bombed by Jews. Palestinians escaping Jews run out of options and go to eating cooked grass to survive. Allies withdraw support from Jews. UK returns support to Jews. Iran attacks the Jews, but with help from France, Jordan, surprisingly as it's betraying its own empire, UK and USA, they stop nearly all of 320 plus missiles. Jews evacuate Muslims before a 6-week attack. Jews bribes Muslims with money, immunity from law, and armed mercy to help find hostages. Jews are warned they could be war criminals. USA blocks weapons aid to Jews again. Jews order Muslims to evacuate. Jews bomb something. The fire spreads to evacuation shelter. Yemen terrorists confronted by First World Navy. Jews insult USA Democrats for not supporting Judaism. The Jews call them Iran's useful idiots. Democrats boycott for a while. Hezbollah attack. Israel responds by killing their leader. Allies restrict weapon sales again. A Palestinian leader is killed in Iran. Iran attacks again. All of their missiles are blocked again. 2 days of walkie-talkie sabotage explosions killing people in the Muslim Empire. On the second day, Lebanon tries to launch back but is intercepted. Lebanon successfully strikes Israel. Jews bomb them back lots. Israel prepares to send Jewish soldiers to Lebanon. Israel does send in some special forces. Iran's oil price goes up to $74 a barrel and up again to $75 a barrel. Worldwide oil price goes up because USA plans to help Jews attack Iran's oil trucks and more. Israel sends in thousands more and includes tanks and assassinates a second Hezbollah leader. Jews attack United Nations. Italy and Ireland are particularly affected and are very upset. Lebanon and Israel come to what they call peace, but really it's just an agreement to stay out of the way of each other's human rights violations. Israel attacks ex-Syria after rebel victory. Peace deal. Part 1. Trade prisoners of war for some hostages, including all women and children. Part 2. Remove Israeli military from Palestine, allow aid trucks to Palestine, and return all remaining hostages. Part 3. Israel rebuilds what was broken in Palestine and possibly leaves some more areas, such as Egypt border, and all corpses and body parts of hostages returned. Muslims paraded a body before officially returning it. This upsets Jews. Jews are very slow to leave. If they were slower, they would be standing still. This upsets Muslims. Forget that peace deal, it's cancelled, irrelevant. They fight again. Months of Israel bombing Palestine, including aid vehicles and hospitals for the tunnels under them. They say they avoided the hospital, but really they hit the entrance. UK stops Jewish aid and condemns Jewish war crimes. Greta Thunberg and crew are captured on their way to Palestine. They are shown October 7th videos, then sent home, but thank fate they are not killed or enslaved by Jews. Maybe being Jewish to famous people would be harder to get away with. USA evacuated Middle East embassies of all except minimum staff. Chance of denuclear deal between Iran and USA going down. Iran and Israel trade missiles. Iran punctures Iron Dome a bit. Israel shuts down Iranian Broadcast Corporation. Israel assassinates 11 generals. One was only on job for 4 days. USA has Iranian Supreme Leader in sight, asks Iran to unconditionally surrender, and moves warplanes into position. Their weapon can penetrate 65 feet of concrete and will destroy bunker. Midnight Hammer. USA destroys 3 Iranian uranium bunkers. According to Muslim rumours, some uranium was already evacuated. Other rumours say only the entrance was buried and they'll dig their way into a working bunker waiting for them in no time. Now Iran threatens to blockade sea. There's lots of arguing about what really happened in Midnight Hammer, but USA insists that they were fully successful, and if anyone doubts them, they are welcome to dig out that bunker and see it destroyed for themselves. Iran tries and fails to destroy USA base in Qatar, which is another part of the Muslim empire. Iran actually warned Qatar first. All rockets blocked, no casualties. Ceasefire begins between them. But 12 days of rocket swaps between Israel and Iran still happen. Israel kills 61 civilians who were in queue for meals. 28 nations tell Israel to ceasefire. 82% of Israel wants ceasefire. Palestine Action is an activist group trying to save Palestine. There was mass arrests in UK after Palestine Action became illegal to support. They had threatened stunts at low security Air Force bases. For an idea of how low the security was, they didn't have walls. They had the level of fences and bushes I would expect at a farm. But don't worry, if China ever sends a Special Forces legion of goats to attack, the Air Force is safe. Israel generals argue with each other about refusing to bomb Palestine. Some don't want to do it. Rockets are fired anyway, but some of them are aimed to miss. Israel calls starvation a fake and threatens to sue people claiming it, and also many countries are branding them an international war criminal. Israel's starvation plan was interestingly planned for quite a while. At this time, Palestine is receiving next to zero food, not an amount which can make a difference, but they were receiving less than enough for months. As the months went by, Jews deliberately allowed less and less a fraction of enough to make it to them. So when famine started, Palestine was already at its most vulnerable to a famine. Gaza officially recognized as in famine by a UN favorite Integrated Food Phase Classification. They're the people who monitor world hunger. Jews send lots of tanks into Muslim land. UK officially recognises Palestine as a country, but to avoid backlash, asks that Palestine soldiers who have died don't get any money going to their families. Second attempt of peace. There's going to be a short-term mini-government to help manage Gaza for a while, and that's going to involve Republicans from the USA and Labour from the UK involved. So that's that. What's the conclusion? Exactly the same as the conclusion before. Judaism and Islam are both poisonous things, and all they make is horror. When will the time come when the whole species agrees? Let's stop this, because there's no point in all these lies about God. They achieve nothing. The human races should have better things to do and should know better. If there was a God, it would be obvious. There is no reasonable evidence that God has ever made contact with any of us. So if it is real, it's not even here. It either isn't aware of us or doesn't care about us. When the time comes that atheism is truly universal, the world will be that jump closer to peace, and better than that, happiness. Not the UN's rubbish version of peace, the real version of peace where we treat each other with liberty and morals instead of greed and bullying. According to too many people, peace is just the opposite of war. This is not and has never been true. Before this war, was Israel and Palestine at peace? No, that wasn't peace. That was tyranny. And although more than 99% of people aren't starving, freezing, or sheltering from bombs, there is a cruelly wide diversity of tyranny that too many people are helpless in the face of. Planet Earth is not living in peace time. It's living in tyranny time. And humans of the planet can either stop abusing their votes on stupid ideas and reform the world into something we can be glad to call home, or wait until the inevitable war when everything goes up in smoke. What do you think the democratic answer is going to be? Sorry to break the tone and pace, but I doubt I'm going to ever get a chance this good to say this again, so here it is. Nickelodeon actually predicted this war back in the 20noughties. In Avatar, The Legend of Aang, Book 3, Fire, Chapter The Puppet Master, a character is invaded and imprisoned. She eventually escapes and gets her revenge, but includes lots of civilian victims in her revenge, and is treated as a villain by the main characters. A similar idea to what's happened between Israel and Palestine in the past. And this character's name was Hama, the same name as the Palestinian Party who organised the October 7th attacks. So well done, Nickelodeon. Not only did you make one of the best TV trilogies ever, you also predicted the future. To be honest, I'm probably not going to do a first 3 years video next year because, well, do any of you want to watch it? If you want me to make any more of this News of C.D.M.D style video, then you have no other option than to watch them enough, all the way through, preferably more than once, until the numbers mean making them is worthwhile. The alternative is they're going to get cancelled. On better thoughts, if I do cancel them, I'll replace them with something you should find more fun. I will see you in the apocalypse. And subscribe to survive.